Be'ez Hashem, Amud Kuf, Ayin, Amud Beis. Bo Shabbos, Bo Menucha. Shabbos comes, Menucha comes. Like it says, Vayichalahim Elukim Yom HaShvi. Hashem completed on the seventh day. That's why it's possible to say also about Shabbos that Hashem created the world. Because Menucha is what keeps the world going. He said before, he's about to really give us a really strong review even, but Bekitzer, because this is all Hashmatas. We finished the main halacha, the next three columns or so are going to be a bit of a review. So we said before that a person who wants to really be connected to Hashem and be able to know when it's before the Gzar Din, when it's before the Kri or after the Kri. So how does he do that? He needs to feel such joy in the mitzvah, he wants no reward, just another mitzvah. He feels such a joy. That's the sefiras Hashem. He can know, number one, if it's before the Gzar Din or after the Gzar Din. Number two, before the Gzar Din, you daven straight. After the Gzar Din, davening is already, there are times when it's too late to daven. Davening is very unlikely to help. So what you need to do is you need to put your tefillah in a way of speaking, of stories, of some some way that's around the back, get around the kitrugim, get around the accusing forces. So you need to get to this place of tremendous simcha mitzvah. If you want olam haba on your mitzvah as much as you want that, the less you have this meira, this clarity that you get by being completely batal mavutal to Hashem and connected to the mitzvah the way you should connect. So there are a few things that get in the way of having this deep connection. Number one is extraneous fears. When you're afraid of anything but Hashem, you don't use a fear here in this world to bring you directly to Hashem immediately. It's going to get in the way of you being able to get to this or. Number two, you have to have good thoughts. A person has bad thoughts, he focuses on bad thoughts, he's not going to be in a good place. It's not good for him. It's very, very spiritually unhealthy for him. Fine. That's number two. And he said the way you get rid of these bad fears, and you deal with the thoughts as well, is by crying out with a kol. Kind of like the shofar, as a person calls out. Either you can explain the Gemara. The Gemara says that Yesh Merabi is supposed to say b'kol kocha. You're supposed to say Yesh Merabi b'kol, right? You say it out loud. It rips up the decrees. It does great things. So this machlok Rashi and Tosafos, does that mean with all your strength, or does that mean just with all your power, or with all your voice? Is it something more internal, or more just you scream? So there's different ways of understanding. Here also you could say, although very often by the Chassidim and by Breslov, very often they did literally scream, but not everybody. It depended who. So that's what we're holding right now. So Rav Nassan's about to say, there are different places. So Rav Nassan's about to explain, as usual, he's going to just go to halacha and completely give us insight into why things are this way. So I'll ask you a simple question, right? You have a guy who you say, okay, you're going to watch my wallet. Watch him while I'm going to the mikvah, right? Gives you the wallet, whatever, So you put the wallet away and it gets stolen. Are you responsible or not?
Yeah.
You might think that, but the truth is it depends. If you're a shomer chinam, if you're not taking money to watch his wallet, then you're patur of aveda, right? You're not obligated if it was stolen or if it was lost. But if you're a shomer socher, if you take any money, you get any benefit for it, that's called shomer socher. Then already you have to pay for gnei aveda, which is interesting. Theoretically, I guess if you hire a guard, maybe he has to pay. It's not so simple, right?
You're saying it doesn't mean.
If you hire someone to guard your thing,
Poshea?
No, Poshea is a shomer.
Negligent.
Poshea is shomer, huh?
Same thing with the mitzvah.
No, that's what he's going to say. That's exactly what he's going to say. It's very, very interesting. He says shomer chinam here. Let's read it. It's beautiful.
Mitzvah, no joy. So.
He's beautiful. So let's see what he says. He has incredible, beautiful things. Why are you chayev? Why are you not chayev? Like you look at that, you're like, what do you mean? If a guy who's supposed to did you watch it right or didn't you watch it right? Pshia, like you just said, right? Pshia, you're chayav no matter what. You can't be poshea. I don't care what you do. You can't unless you tell him I'm not chayav for pshia and he's gullible enough to agree. I don't know, gullible, desperate enough. I don't know exactly to agree. But if you say I'm not responsible for negligence, you're not. But if you don't say that, you don't stipulate that, so then you're responsible for negligence no matter what. You can say anything you want. What do you mean? You can't just leave it in the door unlocked and walk out? Well, yeah, I'll watch it. Yeah, no problem. I'm not responsible. Gneva Veda and Putter, right? Putter. He walks out, leaves the door open. That's called Pshia. I mean, you can't leave the door open. It's not called Gneva Aveda. You're begging people to take it. You left the door open with the thing there people see. Not so simple. So Rav Nosson going to explain why is it this way. Like it could have been the opposite way. Maybe a person who's paid, maybe the person who's paid, it would be the same level. Just you pay him. If a watchman, he watches carefully, right? He has to watch so much more carefully. It was stolen. It's his problem. It was stolen. Like, what's he supposed to do? It was stolen. He tried. He didn't. He lost it. Yeah, a person can lose things. You know what happened to him, Nebuch? He lost a relative. Who knows what happened? You have no idea. His kid he looked for his kid. He forgot your wallet. What do you want from his life? He forgot. He's responsible. Why is he responsible? Well, if you paid him, if you didn't pay him, he's not responsible. What's going on? So, this is what Nuss is going to explain. He said, Al pi ha'mar now, is by inyan ha'mitzvah shel din shem b'tzachar shes chai b'gneva aveda u'poter b'antzim. If we look at what we just said, what the Rebbe says in Torah Yud Gimel, we can understand why is it shomer chinam poter for gneva aveda and chayev for ontzim. I'm sorry. Shomer socher he's talking about. Shomer socher is chayev b'gneva. He'll get to that also, and it's also poter and ontzim, of course. That a shomer socher is chayev b'gneva aveda and poter from ontzim. Right? A person, a shomer, a watchman who's paid he's chayev for gneva aveda and he's poter from ontzim. Ones, like some guy comes with a submachine gun. Okay, what can he do? Right? But if he was careful, if he did due diligence. But Gneva Aveda was stolen. He didn't put it in the right place. He put it in a safe. He didn't really take care of it, right? Or Aveda, if it was lost, it's his problem, right? So why is he obligated? Again, the Shomer Chinam is not obligated in Gneva Aveda. Why is he obligated? Everything has a source in the Torah. And now, what we just said about wanting reward for your mitzvahs or not is the difference between Shomer Chinam and Shomer Socher. How? The person who does b'simcha doesn't want to learn about nothing. He's called a shomer chinam. Watches for free. In other words, we'll see in a minute. We'll talk in what he's talking about. I'm not asking anything. So this guy's generous spirit channels this aspect of someone who's doing something for nothing. He's willing to watch for his friend. He's doing him a favor. I'm doing a guy a favor. So that aspect is like, I don't want reward. I'm not asking for a monetary reward, even though I couldn't. It was normal to give monetary reward. That in and of itself channels a little bit of this level, right? So he said, "B'shem Mistoch is the opposite. He wants to be paid. I'm entitled to be paid." He said, that's called someone who wants it, like he does a mitzvah for them, but he wants something for it. Therefore, the dinim are different. Shomer Chinam doesn't have to pay anything. It's not his problem, right? Shomer Socher, Pshia, fine. Shomer Socher chayav b'gneva aveda u'poter ontzim. Shomer Socher has to pay for gneva aveda, but does not have to pay for ontzim. If it was stolen or if it was lost, the Shomer Socher has to pay it because he's paid to be a paid watchman. But if it was not his fault, it was an onus, it was something that was beyond his ability to deal with, so then he doesn't have to pay. The way you get to this incredible simcha that doesn't want any kind of reward is through this aspect of thunder. This aspect of thunder, this powerful voice. You got to throw out all your extraneous thoughts. Like we said, all the bad thoughts you have to get rid of. The more you do this, the more you're able to access this level. You have to also watch your year. You shouldn't have bad thoughts, have bad fear from anything except Hashem. Any fear should bring you to fear from Hashem. Then you can hear the thunder. Then you get simcha. Real simcha is doing something with altruism, with connection. It's just the mitzvah itself is worth it. The shomer chinam is like this aspect. He's doing his job without don't want any reward. Because he's this aspect, he's not obligated. Because he's this aspect, you can't get this aspect without fixing and purifying your head and your heart and your fear of Hashem. There's two different types of damage. Gneva aveda and ontzim. Ontzim we understand when a person is forced. When I'm forced into something, when something happens beyond my ability, beyond my capability, that's a different level, obviously. Aveda, stealing and lost, you could see a point of saying, well, the guy's not obligated. You could see a point of saying the guy is obligated. You can see both points of view. How does this happen? It's because someone had a messed up das. His das, his machshava was not in a good place. When a person's machshava is really the way it should be, he does not lose things. Things don't disappear from it. It's a very, very big limud haskel, like how much we're so mavubal today, so much confusion, so much crazy thoughts. A person's always losing things. He's always in the place of, it's hard for him to keep track of things. And it's, on the one hand, we have a lot of abundance, but there's something missing in the das. When I lose out on opportunities, when things get lost, I'm missing something. How does it happen? You lose your das. You misplaced the thing. How do you misplace the thing? You lost track of it. Geneva also, you lost track of it. You didn't put it in the right. You didn't watch it properly. You didn't put it in the right place. That's the main Geneva and the main Aveda. Without a person's understanding, Geneva Aveda is through a person he loses track. He loses focus. There was a blemish in his understanding and his focus there. A guy comes with submachine guns, some kind of animal comes after him, he's got to run away, leaves the thing there, whatever. It's something it's in his das, it's in his purview. He sees, he understands, he's got it. But the trouble is that he's not holding by dealing with it. It's too much for him to deal with. They come because the person he doesn't have these fears, so then these things come. Person who doesn't pick up his load yiras, he's going to be afraid of all these things. He's afraid of bandits, he's afraid of wild animals. The truth is, a person who has deep bitachon. There are stories about the Alter Vardag, stories about the. I think Yitzchak of the Babich also, like big stories. People they were, Tanya, the people they had no fear, like whatever it is, it's okay. Whatever Hashem wants is fine. The people were like really connected. They were very, very strong, very strong. Didn't matter what he did. Didn't matter nothing. Yitzchak Zonenfeld, guy came with a gun to threaten him. The Alter Sabatka also was a Maisa, very interesting Maisa. This guy was in the yeshiva, became a communist. They kept trying to make everyone communists. Didn't work out. The Alter Sabatka kept getting in their way. So finally they decided, we're just going to kill him. We'll either send him, either he'll leave on the train, or we're going to shoot him dead. So they come into Alter's, this guy's like an old Talmud, right? He's became a communist. And he comes into Alter's room, he's like, okay, Rabbi, you're the culprit, you're getting in the way of our plans for utopia, all these crazy ideas. Either you're going to agree to get out of here right now, give your solemn word, make it take an oath, or believe me, because I'm going to shoot you dead. This is one of his prize students who went off the derech, and a few other, people. What do you suppose the Alter's reaction was?
Shoot me.
No. He looked at him with pity. He said, look, a person a few months without Musar, look how far you can fall. Dehumanized. Completely lack of humanity. Threaten an old man. You don't like his opinion, his approach. You can't debate him. You can't say anything, from your point of view. You can't present yourself properly. You can't convince anybody. You come with brute force like an animal. The guy got so flustered and embarrassed, he just left. Then they came back again, the yeshiva, they wanted to force him to have a lecture. So the Alter's wife or daughter was there, I don't remember who it was. So they're like, it was Shabbos, they didn't want to, they had guns, and she started screaming, fire, fire. Now everything was made of wood. So fire, fire, in the I guess fire, and also in the vernacular meant flame, that people had to run because it was like danger for the whole town. So in 2 more minutes it was going to be filled with people from the street, oh my gosh, with water. They were like, forget it, we can't give a lecture here. They're going to, want to shoot people with the witnesses. The whole town is going to come in and shoot people dead. It doesn't look good. So they kept finding ways to get out of their clutches. But this is the thing, you have to learn how to keep your das. But that's a very big level. That's hard to make a person responsible for that. Have no fear, what's nothing. It can happen. It's not really his fault. It's not what he wants him to do. כי אלו הנוסעים ליסטים, כולם בכלל שיעוס נפוס שנשלב שבזה הדובר בכבדו, מי שזוכר לסכן העיר, עליונו בשלמוס ומעלה כל יעוס נפוס לשושם, אזי אין בשם משום דובר. הם בגזם בחיירה וחיצי, nothing to fear. מאחר שמעלה יעיר לשושם, the year is in its shorish. אזי כשמעלה יעיר לשושם, אין להם שום כוח לסקבל. When a person picks up the year to its shorish, they can't get over it, they can't be mishtad, they can't deal with him. They can't get him out of it. בעיקר, מה שמשאר מהם ומה שיכולים, Nizkar b'alav hu rak machma she'ein mala yiro l'shoshim achmasem b'shar mehem v'yicholim nizkar b'alav. Why are they able to do? Why does this happen to him? Because his yira is he's afraid of all sorts of stuff and not Hashem. He doesn't keep his fear of Hashem. Nimtza shekneva aveda b'mikamadas. Gneva aveda is theft and losing something comes from kamadas.